All right, so now what we're going to be talking about and demonstrating is what we call a first DM appointment. So a first DM appointment really is our discovery meeting. That is the first opportunity that we've got in front of a business owner, HR rep, or that decision maker for the company that's a potential prospect. And throughout this meeting, which should only roughly take 10 to 15 minutes typically, what we're trying to do is gather information. So as you've probably heard in orientation or in some of your field training, really in that first meeting, you're not wanting to pitch your product. You're not wanting to talk about how great True Texas Benefits is or how great, a certain product or Colonial Life is or any of that stuff. What you're wanting to do is you're wanting to gather relevant information. You're wanting to put that information together, and then you're wanting to successfully schedule a what we call second DM appointment, or just a second appointment with that company and with that representative in order to come back and at that time present a proposal. So we're going to get started here and show you what one of these interactions should look like and give you something to really walk you through that process. So here we go. So hey Riley, I appreciate you taking the time, and I know you're a busy guy running ABC Construction.
Yep.
You guys are really blowing up, man.
Yeah, it's going good. It's going good. What you got for me today?
So, I came in here, like I said, just to introduce myself primarily, and also to find out a little bit about your company.
Sure.
So, I talked to Jim at the front desk.
Sure.
I'd called him the other day and walked in a couple of times, just chatted with him, and through that conversation, found out that you were the man to be chatting with and getting some of that information from. So, anyway, like I said on the phone, all I want to do really today is take about the next 8 minutes or so,
Sure.
gather some information about your company, and then if there's anything that I think would be of interest to you that we do, I'd like to come back at a later time next week to share that with you. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, so what I was thinking about is just tentatively planning this time next week. Is typically 9 a.m. on Tuesdays a good time for you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
9 a.m.
I'm going to jot that down because I do believe from just some of the research I've done, that there's some things we can do, but we'll find out here soon enough. Sure. Now, is there anybody else in that benefit decision-making process at your company, or is that primarily just you?
It's just me.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
That puts a little responsibility on your shoulders, huh?
It's a little bit.
So, I'm going to jump right in. Tell me a little bit. I know Jim had mentioned y'all have about 11 employees. Is that still pretty accurate? Y'all got about 11 employees?
We run a crew of about 11.
Okay.
We're a contractor, so we do construction work, anything you can think of. But right now we're sitting at about 11.
Okay. Are all those guys full time? I say guys. Is it guys, gals, and full time, part time?
We have one gal in the office, but the majority of the field is males. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And it's all full time? You said
everybody's full time.
Gotcha. Okay. And how often do y'all pay? Is it weekly?
Yeah, guys get paid every Friday.
Okay. And if you had to kind of describe your workforce, and what I'm doing here is just jotting down some notes
Sure.
and things for myself, but if you had to describe your workforce, what would you say, from an age demographic? Do y'all got a mixed group? Is it mostly younger, older? And then are they mostly single, or do a lot of them have families?
Most of them have families, and they're all probably in between the ages of 25 and 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 25 and 40. And
But
most of them do have families?
Yeah, most everybody has families. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So, do y'all offer any kind of major medical currently to your employees?
Man, about 4 years ago, we sat down with a gentleman like yourself, and and he asked for some information. I sent it over to him, and he sent back a quote through, I think it was Blue Cross Blue Shield, and told me what my responsibility was as an employer for if I were to roll this out, and what the responsibility would be on the employer side, on the employee side, and it just wasn't feasible for our company, man. So
yeah, was it just mainly because the price was just pretty?
Yeah, it just
kind of high price.
It was just too expensive.
Gotcha. What when you were looking at some of that, what were some of the numbers you were seeing? I mean, was it 1,000 plus? Was it?
I think because of the census, from what the guy was telling me, for a family since everyone has families, for a family coverage, it was going to be around $1,400 a month.
Gotcha.
For the best coverage that that I thought was for the best coverage, and we can only afford so much to put towards that, and then
Yeah.
the employees, their labor, so
Sure.
I didn't want to put that burden on them, so
Yeah.
I hadn't revisited since then.
Absolutely, man. Well, I mean, you're not alone, man. There's a lot of people in that same boat, so
Right.
that's why we do what we do. But I'm not here today to kind of get into all that.
Sure.
So when you guys were looking at that, have y'all also ever looked into any voluntary benefits? Do y'all have anything like an Aflac or like Allstate or any?
Yeah,
benefits like that?
we offer Aflac.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have y'all been doing that?
I think about 6 years now.
Okay.
But honestly, I think I'm the only one left with policies.
Okay.
Over the years, people have gone off and left, and agents have changed, and
Gotcha.
I just kept it rolling on my books. But I don't think there's anyone else on the plan, honestly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What have you liked the most about what you guys had with Aflac? I mean, what's been?
I just like the fact that if I were to get cancer or critical illness or something like that, get into an accident, I don't even know what policies I have, but I just know it's going to take care of some of my family. We've used the accident policy on some of my kids whenever they've got injured in sports, and it's helped a bunch with the medical bills and
Awesome.
and things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of familiar with Aflac's products, but like I said, I think I'm the only one left on it
I gotcha. Well,
over
that's
the
cool.
years. Yeah.
Do you know? Did y'all ever at one time offer any short-term disability through that process? Do you think?
I don't know. It was 6 years ago when that was the only time they came out, really.
Gotcha.
And then I'd get a phone call once a year, but I don't really remember what
all
was
through
offered.
them?
Yeah.
Okay, but not through anybody else either, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
gotcha. I'm just kind of getting a feel for what you guys are doing.
Sure.
And I'm assuming probably no long-term disability if you didn't have the short-term either.
No.
Any life insurance outside of that?
No, we don't offer any type of group life. or
Even for
anything.
yourself, any?
I have a personal policy for myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, I'm assuming I already know the answer to this, but y'all probably don't have any dental or vision. You probably would have mentioned that, huh?
No, sir.
Okay. And then the last thing on the benefit side is any kind of 401k or retirement stuff going on?
I'd love to. We just hadn't made that step yet.
Yeah, that's a big one. So, so on another note, it's kind of, I mean, it's also a benefit as well, just a different kind. Do y'all do any kind of vacation or sick days for the guys in the field or office workers or any of those folks?
No.
Okay.
No.
Nope. Just if you work, you
get a
eat.
paycheck.
If you don't show up, that's how
That's
how
right.
it usually is, man. I always like to ask. In small business, that's a tough transition to go to.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like that your employees really appreciate the job that they have and what you offer to them, even though there might not be benefits currently or maybe just the Aflac available? Do you feel like what you do for them in their job, what you pay them, and what the opportunity they have available here? Do you feel like they have a pretty deep appreciation for that or understanding of what you're doing?
Yeah, I feel like they do. Turnover's been high, just the nature of this industry. Over the last couple of years, it's hard to find good work.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I take care of my staff. If I've helped people personally. I mean, they know what our company's about. That's how we built our reputation. But it is hard work, and like I said, they come and go, and it's hard to find good help. But there's been a couple guys, the core that started it, that's stuck around with me through the thick and thin. But yeah, it's been a challenge over the last couple of years for sure.
Gotcha. When you talk about the turnover, I mean, how many folks do you think you hire a year? Of those 11, I mean, what do you turn over? 2 or 3 a year, or something like that, or is it a little more?
It's a little more.
Okay.
It's probably
About half of them?
about half of them, probably
Okay.
about 5 of them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, man.
They get out there in that heat, and they go to lunch and they don't show back up.
Yeah, that's a tough industry, man. You got to
Yeah.
be a special kind of person to be able to take that heat, huh? In
Yeah.
Texas. Well, hey, what do you feel like? I mean, hiring 5 or 6 people, turning them over. I mean, what do you think that's costing you a year? Do you any idea?
Man, I have no idea. It's just I just chalk it up
time.
as part of the gig, you know.
Part of the gig, yeah. Let me ask you this one last question, or one of the last couple of questions I'll have. If you could add one benefit for your company, you know, I mean, outside of cost, you know, kind of that
Sure.
aside, if you just could add one benefit that would really, you know, improve things that you feel like for your employees or for the company, what do you feel like that'd be?
I feel like that would be, you know, obviously I'd like them to have access to health care.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and I know
Like to be able to go to the doctor and that kind of thing?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, I'd like them to have access to health care, and then, you know, I'd like them also to have access to, you know, dental, vision, and life insurance, and
Yeah.
and some probably disability as well, just because all these guys head of the households, you know, if something happens to them,
Yeah.
I can only help out so much, so that'd be something that, you know, I'd like to take a look at for sure.
Well, no, that makes sense, and you know, I think that's all the questions I got for you today. Like I mentioned, you know, I'm not wanting to take much more than, you know, about 10 minutes of your time today, but just looking at some of the notes I took and what you guys, the situation you're currently in,
Yeah.
what you're kind of looking at, I really believe there's some things that we do that'll be of interest to you.
Sure.
I mean, you're the perfect kind of client that we're looking for. You know, small business that's growing. You know, trying to do something obviously on a budget for their employees
Right.
and make something happen. And you know, I definitely want to try to look at some solutions with you. And what we'll do is I'll come back, like I mentioned, next Tuesday at 9.
Okay.
And I'll have some of that information so that we have a dedicated time to kind of go over that, and then we'll go through it. And if it's something of interest to you and it makes sense to you, we'll talk through it and go through that process. And if it's not, you just, you know, show me the right way, you know, kick me out the door in the right way, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
And we'll leave friends. But outside of that, man, I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, and really excited about the opportunity.
That sounds fair.
All right,
Thank you,
awesome.
Alan.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
So that is a pretty average discovery meeting. So when you go into those accounts, you know, many times, especially when you first start out in this business, this is going to be a pretty standard account for you. 11 employees, 12 employees, 15, 5 employees. You know, these small businesses that are looking for an option to really provide something to their employees. You know, as you'll see whenever we do the proposal, when we show you the second DM, the proposal meeting, which, you know, as we scheduled it in the role play for the following Tuesday, that's really where you're going to see us talk more about True Texas Benefits, what we can do for the company, how we can serve the company, a tad bit about product and what products may could be available, and then we're ultimately nailing down an opportunity to close and walk through that process with the potential decision maker, and potential prospect rather. So anyway, make sure you really take this discovery form, which each of you have, and really understand the content that's on it. You don't want to be reading it. What you saw me doing as we were discussing, I wasn't just, you know, reading through every line. You know, I was really looking at, okay, what do I got next? What do I need to ask? And then I was having it conversational. That's how you want to be. And the only way to get in a casual conversational manner such as this is to know your script, know your content, know what information you're gathering, and make sure that you do your due diligence in that. So you've got, all of you have this PDF form. You probably have physical copies of it here at the office. Make sure you get on this content, really understand it, and let's go out and find out about our customers, and that way we can put together the best proposals possible.